Hey, I want to talk about being thrown into an institution by the police in 2012, and what really happened. I went to a meeting at SAG AFTRA for the merger, at SAG, Screen Actors Guild, for the merger of SAG and AFTRA. And sorry, my glasses are a little, I sat on them. I need to get them fixed. But anyways, I went to this meeting. And I didn't go there because I wanted to run for office. I actually went because I was concerned about what happened to me, because I showed up to the set to be told I'm on a list by Disney when I didn't do anything. And I knew it was all about a sexual assault. Ned Vaughn was one of the people running the meeting. He's an NRA, GOP Republican, who I had worked with on a set before, the set of NCIS. And for whatever reason, I remember he gave me a chair. He gave me this place to sit down. Like, he said I could sit where he was sitting, and I sat down. And he made some comment, she hasn't changed. And I have no idea what she meant by that, because I'd never met him before. And my parents, though, were in Arizona, and they were going, I kind of think that they might have known people in the industry through their church. In fact, I knew that they knew Craig Kilborn's parents through their church. So I don't know if that's what was going on. Like, my parents were making snide comments about me. My parents are GOP Republican. They won't even admit the fact that I have a theater degree now. They basically have they insinuate to me as though not an educated woman when I am. They degrade me. They demoralize me. I was a straight A student in school, and they won't talk about that. But I'm digressing. I had actually told SAG AFTRA that I felt like if I wasn't allowed to be an actor, I was going to be I was going to feel like my life was over. So I'd communicated that. But it wasn't, I didn't say anything that I was going to do something violent. I didn't say I was going to go do X and end my life. However, the police report says that I said I was going to go get a gun. The only problem is I never said that. Now, Cassandar Taylor in the UK, who wants me to stop posting, wants me to stop talking about this, wants me to go away, wants me to disappear, she wants to accept the fact that what's in that police report is 100% valid. Now, how many of you out there know that just because something is in a police report doesn't mean it's factually true? That they can be infallible? That witnesses can lie? That witness statements can lie? And the police were not in that meeting. They didn't even record whoever told them that they said a girl. I think they said a girl said this, and don't even name the girl. So it was like a third-party person who told someone at SAG AFTRA that I said this when I never said it. And yet Cassandar Taylor in the UK keeps bringing up this report as though every word in it is true, but it isn't. It also states that I said I was a lawyer. I did say I was a lawyer. I really went to Catholic law school. But it insinuates in the report as though that's one of the reasons why they thought I was crazy. And repeatedly, I had the cops, after this happened, knock on my door, and it was always around the time of a SAG AFTRA meeting, which I think they were afraid that I was going to come to and disturb, so they kept having the police harass me at that time, having someone call me to basically check on me in order for me to understand the fact that I was not allowed to be a SAG AFTRA actor, even though I earned it. I worked on sets for 5 years. I'm a Maryland Distinguished Scholar who was a straight A student. I am not a liar. I am not delusional. I never thought of myself as a hot, sexy woman, but I believe that I had talent and integrity, and I trained to be an actor. So I don't see what's wrong with me saying I'm an actor when I trained to be an actor, and I don't see why someone would want to say, well, you can never be an actor, Laura. Why? Because I wasn't born in the right family. I'm not from California. I had faith in myself. I was actually, and here's the irony, okay? In 2012, when this happened, I had 2 shorts that were SAG contract shorts in festivals. 2. Not 1, but 2. I got my first SAG audition, and I got my third SAG audition, and yet I'm being treated as though you don't have a future as an actor. Sorry, Laura, you got your 15 minutes of fame, you're done. Well, Cassandar Taylor keeps acting like everything in that report is true when it isn't, because I never said I was going to get a gun. In fact, everyone who really knows me knows I hate my father and his guns. I hate the GOP and the NRA. I'm a vegan. I'm a vegan. I don't own a gun. I don't want to own a gun. I played a cop on television sets several times. I would not want to fire a real gun with real bullets in it ever. I don't see the point. I don't see the need to do something like that. I don't. If I played a cop on television, I would never want them to give me a gun with real bullets in it. I'm thinking, I don't need to have real bullets. There's no need for me to fire a real gun on a set, period. Anyone that thinks that's necessary should be considered criminally negligent, because it's not. It's not necessary at all. Period. So, and Ned Vaughn was an NRA supporter, and I honestly think part of this is because of the fact I was playing police officers and detectives, and yet people who really knew me knew that I hated the NRA, and I don't like guns. And yet here I was, a woman who's working on cop shows playing cops, thinking, yeah, because I was acting. Just because a friend of mine pointed this out to me, that, you know, some people take like faith-based projects even though they're not Christian, and thinking, well, that's kind of messed up. Like, I would not do that. I would not work in a movie that sports Christian nationalism. At the same time, I don't like guns, but I'd be more than willing to play a police officer on a television show because I like mysteries and I like solving mysteries and I like sleuthing and I like that kind of show where you have to think. That's why I like playing those characters. And in actuality, I mean, I auditioned for NCIS and I auditioned playing a doctor because I kind of didn't care about having the role where I was playing an agent or a gun. I'm not physically strong enough anymore anyways. I have an autoimmune disease. So I just figured I would say this because I am so tired of this. This has been going on for over a decade, where SAG AFTRA has been treating me as though I attacked someone, treating me as though I'm a terrorist, treating me as though I've got a criminal record 5 miles long. All I did was flash a security guard. And they've been doing it for fascist reasons. If I was a blonde, sexy, hot woman worth $1 million a movie, they would not be doing this to me. I did not say that I was going to go get a gun. And Cassandar Taylor, you need to understand something. You keep wanting me to shut up. You keep wanting me to stop posting stuff on. You keep wanting to silence me about the fact that you think that everything about that police report is valid when it isn't. It isn't true. If you read the emails with Katie Kurtzman, which are also on my blog, in those emails I basically accuse her of being the one telling them that I said I was going to get a gun. Because I talked to Katie Kurtzman about my father and said my father had guns and he terrifies me. I'm scared of him with his guns. Like, I want to take his guns and put them in a pile and set them on fire. Either that or sell all of them, because I don't want them. I've actually told my father, make sure you put in your will that my brother gets all the guns, or I will light them afire, and I will burn them up, or destroy them. So yeah, don't give me the guns. So I'm sorry, Cassandar Taylor, whoever you are. I was never put on trial by SAG AFTRA. I was never given a hearing. And SAG AFTRA has actually repeatedly sent me emails saying, because I've sent them emails telling them that was a lie, telling them they don't really have grounds to do any of this. And they have basically said that I am a member of SAG AFTRA. I'm a member of SAG AFTRA in good standing, but I'm not allowed to be at any events. I'm not allowed the benefits of SAG AFTRA. I am basically ostracized and blacklisted on a lie. And Asaph Cohen screaming, she's assaulting me when I wasn't even touching him, that is also not valid and credible. I actually talked to a police officer in Los Feliz about that at the library. I ran into him and I said, I have a question. If someone starts shouting, you're assaulting me, but you're not touching them, is that a crime? And he's like, no. So Asaph, guess what? I want to sue you. I want to sue Crabtree Ireland. I want to sue SAG AFTRA. This is ridiculous. And Nicole Nicaragua, whatever's going on with you, consider the fact that Cassandar Taylor is saying that she's sick, and you're supposedly on medical leave. I'm wondering if you're Cassandar Taylor. Because I'm tired of this, Cassandra. Are you so pro-police officer that you can't comprehend the fact that the police can be infallible? That they took witness statements, but they didn't even write down the name of the person who's, in other words, hearsay is not admissible in court. It isn't. So unless they can produce the person who actually said I was going to go get a gun, not make a statement that says some girl said that I said on the phone that I was going to get a gun without naming the girl. And for all I know, they actually talked to Crabtree Ireland who said that oh, well, we were told by some girl that Laura said this. And I'm like, well, who's the name of the girl? And who told you that? Was it the girl or was it somebody else who said that this girl said that? In which case, it's gossip. It has no basis in fact. Really read the statement, Cassandar Taylor, or can you read? You keep passing me these notes with big words in them as though you want to impress me, but then you can't even comprehend the fact that if you really read that statement, it says that some girl said, and it doesn't specify the name of the girl. In other words, the cops did not hear me say this. The police didn't hear me say this. They took statements from other people, and just because they took statements from other people does not mean those statements are valid. especially if the person's lying. And I was peacefully leaving the meeting. I was going out the door. In fact, I was planning on going grocery shopping, which is why I had an empty bag. The only thing I had on me was a stack of paychecks, because I had my SAG vouchers with me. I did. I actually had my SAG vouchers with me because I was going to show them and say, I really am a member. Actually, if they really wanted to screw me, they should have taken my paychecks, that pile of paper, and thrown it away. They didn't. The police kept it and gave it back to me at the end of my 3-day stay. Which, by the way, they threw me into BCH hospital for one night. They drugged me. They gave me a drug. I was knocked out for over 24 hours and didn't figure out till later that I was actually, because I didn't have a watch, I didn't have any way of telling the time. They took my cell phone. So I was comatose in a hospital. They didn't have a hospital bed. I was in a gurney in a hallway for 24 hours. And when I finally came to, they had some nurse interviewing me, and I started screaming at her, I really am a lawyer. My bar number is 207690. Next thing I know, they're throwing me into another ambulance and sending me someplace else, because they realized I didn't belong there. And they sent me to Olive View Hospital, I believe. No, I think I went from Olive View to BCH. The second place they sent me, they actually put me into a room with a woman who was there. I had a roommate. And it turns out the woman worked for the WB. She did. She was an employee in production. And she recognized me, or she talked. And we talked about working on sets. And there was another guy also in that institution who said, oh, I recognize you. You're an actor? So Lee Ryder, Cassandar Taylor, I get thrown into an institution in Los Angeles because I worked on sets for 5 years out here in Los Angeles. There were people in the institution who actually recognized me from working on sets. Because it was a drug rehab facility. Most of the patients in that facility were not there because they were criminals. They were there because of drug use problems. And probably some of them were mandated by the court. And I don't have a drug problem. I have never had a drug problem. I'm allergic to pot. I'm allergic to opioids. I have a latex allergy. So most opioids and illegal drugs, which are derived from latex, I can't have because they give me hives. So while you want to think that I'm some criminal, you allowed a guy who basically sexually assaulted me, Gary Gilbreth, who was a cokehead. I mean, I don't know what the lesson I was supposed to learn by that hospital stay, how the other half lived. I spent the entire time in that hospital counseling people in the hospital. Like, one guy even walked up to me and said, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. And during the, recreational period, I was shooting hoops with basketball with the guys out in the courtyard area. They didn't have me, in a cell. I was in these group meetings, and I was in this room, sharing this room with this nice woman. And I basically kept to myself for the most part. And they kept me for 4 days instead of 3, and they let me go, and they didn't put me on medication. That's what happened. And they gave me blood tests after they gave me a drug. And the only thing that was in my system was the drug that they gave me, because I wasn't on medication for anything. But the medical records actually show there was something wrong with my thyroid. And by the way, somebody paid for my lab report, so I think somebody actually paid to get access to my lab reports. I actually went and got copies of all my lab reports. And FYI, the doctor at the hospital gave me a copy of that police form. We talked about it. I told him I didn't say anything. I didn't say that. That's a lie. I never said that. I hate guns. And I also told him I'm a vegan. Most vegans do not like hunting or guns. Excuse me, you're going to throw me in an institution because I'm a vegan? And Cassandar Taylor, you know I'm a vegan. You hate me because I'm a vegan. And Lee Ryder? I mean, seriously, Lee, you came into my life in 2007. You've got your pompous jerk who thinks because David Mamet featured you and discovered you, it gives you rights over me as far as being an actor. You did a play, apparently, which I found online recently in Oregon, which is fine. You have the right to be an actor, but so do I. And you may have walked away from acting, but I don't have a tech background. I don't have a computer background. And you thinking that you have the right to maybe, hack my phone or do whatever to my stuff because you say you own my Google? You're crazy. If you don't respect my rights, then you're breaking the law. You don't respect my boundaries. You want me to go away? I'm posting this video expressing my opinion. I have every right to do that. It's called the free press. If you have a problem with that opinion, sue me. But the reality is you would not win. Because you have been harassing me, you have been degrading me, and you have been actually accusing me of being biased because you're a MAGA. And I'm a Democrat. We are not going to see eye to eye. And you are not going to force me into a relationship or force me to go to church on Sunday. You want me to live by my parents' Christian values? That's Christian nationalism. I am not Christian anymore. I have the right to freedom of religion. You have no right to make me go to church. You have no right to make me believe in your God. You're the bigot for insinuating because you think my parents raised me on Christian values. My parents, I was a latchkey kid. I remember spending more time with babysitters when I was a kid than my parents. They sent me to church on Sunday to learn Bible study, but that doesn't mean I was going to stay a Christian for the rest of my life. And frankly, you want to talk about Christian values? If you were such a Christian, you would have let me be happy and not take away the reasons I'm happy. You wouldn't be coming after me online, you'd be living your life, and you wouldn't be judging me as a sinner by your terms. Do you understand that? You would be leaving me alone and not telling people to file a restraining order on me because you want me ostracized and discriminated against and basically cut off from friends, and you want to act like all the people in my life don't give a rat's ass about me because you don't give a rat's ass about me. I'm sorry, but you want to know something? I am tired of this. I want the DOJ to do the right thing and help me get justice because I'm in a situation where I'm going to die if I don't. The only reason I came to California was for acting. I'm actually terrified. I could be helping actors from home, running lines, but I am scared. I'm scared to audition because I'm scared that I'm going to be set up to be look like I'm horrible. I'm scared that I'm going to end up being cast in something where I'm actually preaching God when I don't want to. I don't trust anyone at this point, and I have valid reasons for that. Because I had someone coming after me for 5 years, and guess what, Cassandra? I have 650 emails that I sent to Twitter support about multiple accounts attacking me. And yet, I was never reported. I have no suspensions in my account until 2020. None. None whatsoever. I joined Twitter in order to help 2 reporters in Korea get out of Korea. That's why I joined Twitter. I was not a bigot on Twitter. I was not a hater on Twitter. And if this is about Jordan Marks and me posting where he lived, or posting where Carrie Finkley lived, I was being lied about. Carrie Finkley now works for Disney, 20th Century Fox. She works for a producer for 20th Century, the company that was blacklisting me, and she had me driven off the Santa Monica campus. Potentially because I got Guy Nolan fired. You want to talk about hypocrites? Having her female friend tell me that they would cast Theron in a part that I wrote for myself. And expecting me to be okay with that. It's my script. I wrote the character for me. No one else is taking that character but me. And it's actually degrading the fact that she said that to me. I'm like, sorry, we don't want you being an actor. You're not good enough. We want a celebrity who gets lots of money for us. Well, then I'm going to take the script someplace else. Because you can cast good celebrity people in the leads to this script that I wrote. The only problem is the lead has to be African American, and I don't think Theron is going to fit it unless she wants to do black paint, which I think would be considered disgraceful and racist, because you'd hire an African American woman to play the lead in my movie when it's supposed to be an African American woman. Yeah, think about that. Carrie Finkley, I wrote a movie, and if you knew, and you weren't in the class, you were visiting at the advanced script writing class, but the movie that I wrote, one of the leads has to be African American or it makes no sense whatsoever. And it's about family. It's about how you can't judge family by the color of your skin or connect family connections by the color of your skin. And how much, and it's ironic because I actually wrote the script of her finding out the fact that someone in my family was probably a passing slave, i.e. a woman or man born of an African American slave who came out white. So, guess what? I deserve justice. I am tired of this. I deserve to walk back into the SAG AFTRA building. I deserve a public apology from the lawyers of SAG AFTRA. I deserve for them to issue a statement saying that they apologized to me. We do know now that Laura went to law school. She didn't say she was going to get a gun. We were lied to. And that I deserve justice. And I am tired of this Cassandar Taylor woman telling me she needs to control me. You need to control me? I'm an adult. And you are not going to make me eat meat. And you're not going to make me go to church on Sunday. And you're not going to make me live by your values because you're twisted and psychotic. And a control freak. This woman is in the UK trying to validate stuff that happened to me here in Los Angeles, and only willing to listen to the side that says I'm the liar. Talk about judgmental. She won't even see the facts as they are. She just assumes that what's in the police report is true. That you would not make a very good reporter or a very good lawyer. Stop lying. You keep calling me the liar. Stop insinuating facts as... Start accepting the fact that in that police report, some of those facts are not valid. They are lies. Some of those facts are not true. And I really went to law school, and I have an autoimmune disease. Just a woman's telling me in emails that I am hypochondriac. I've been underweight since 2007, and I have Hashimoto's disease. I have a yeast allergy. I am very, very sick. My immune system is shot. I've been off my low-dose naltrexone for 2 weeks now, I think, and I am feeling like I'm getting the flu. And I'm just hoping that I hold out until I can get medication from someone next month. Otherwise, I am probably going to end up in a hospital for a disease, and if I do end up in the hospital, they're not going to be able to take care of me because of my yeast allergy. I'm on an incredibly specific diet. There is nothing I'm going to be able to eat in the hospital. They're going to have to tube feed me for the rest of my life if they want me to stay in the hospital, unless they're willing to bake bread for me and cook food from scratch. So don't give me some crap, Cassandra, about how horrible your life is when you're not willing to empathize with mine, or you're making the presumption that somehow my life is easier when I live in a mildew-infested... The grass is not green on my side of the wall. You know that. And you've been causing me pain. You took away my support system. I was actually posted on Twitter that I was starting to sleep normal. It is almost 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm not in bed yet. Shut up, Cassandra. Shut the F up. You and Lee Ryder both. Because I am tired of your bigotry, and I'm tired of your lies, and I'm tired of SAG AFTRA getting away with violating my rights for over a decade and leaving me in a state of stress, anxiety, and feeling like I am never going to be allowed to get back what I wanted with my life. The only industry I wanted to work in, the only industry I had passion for was the entertainment industry. And it is the only way I'm going to get up in the morning and want to work. I am not interested in politics. I didn't get a political science degree. I'm not interested in working in politics. Just because I went to law school, I hated law school. I quit the legal profession in 2002. I am not going to be hanging out with attorneys and talking about law all the time or politics. I don't give a rat's ass. I don't care. Because I'd rather sit at home binge watching television because that's what I love. I have a 60-page horror film I want to finish. I wanted to write a movie about a cop whose wife was murdered. I wanted to write a television series about a woman whose wife was, a police officer whose wife was murdered by the Italian mob here in Los Angeles. And I wanted to write a movie about Squanto being murdered for being basically a bit of a narcissist. Because I don't think he was a victim. I think he basically was a bit power hungry and was doing what he could to survive and playing political games because he turned against his own people. I wanted to actually write. You were talking about facts. Disney has made people have been sugarcoating the story of Squanto for over a century, acting like he was color coding the Puritans as being like these awesome people when they came to America to be prejudicial, to discriminate. Thomas Jefferson wrote the First Amendment because there were Quakers who were hung by non-Quakers because people were being killed if they crossed state lines into a state that didn't practice their religion. That's facts. Not whatever fiction you, Cassandar Taylor, and Lee Ryder can bury in. I mean, Lee, you didn't even give your real name on sets. You call yourself Lee Ryder and your real name is Lee Kambarian. You have multiple Facebook accounts under different names, and I didn't do that. I have multiple email accounts in order to protect my privacy and in order to organize my life, because otherwise I'm smart that way. It's not about, you don't have Cassandar Taylor's gone online and found as many different email addresses as she can and started slamming me with emails on all of them. And why? Because I posted Arnie Starr's emails? Maybe if Arnie Starr had been honest and actually been a real friend, instead of accusing me of being a schizophrenic when I was actually making strides as an actor in the entertainment industry, and he was actually jealous of that fact. I mean, I have emails proving the fact he actually asked me for help to get on a set, and I couldn't help him. That's the craziest thing about being a background artist or working on sets even as an actor. People think that you can get them work when, unless you are the leading person on a set, you really don't have a lot of power. You don't, to do stuff like that. You know, I might be able to make a suggestion, but the reality is I can't demand that casting hire, especially working as background artist, demand that casting hire my friends. You need to, I mean, all I can say to people I knew is, well, go to this casting agency if they want to hire you. Putting me on the spot and demanding that I get you on a set when I'm not the person hiring people on that set, I'm just working like everyone else as an employee on that set, that's really uncalled for. Arnie Starr being mad at me because they wouldn't hire him on a set that I was working. I mean, I'm sorry, but I told you, contact the casting agent. I told the crew guy he wants to be on this set. That's all I could do. Period. Freaking A. Just ridiculous.